is, in this question the figure shows a conical container of height 15 centimeter found in the laboratory. It contains volume of mercury which is equal to 8 over 27 of its full capacity. Volume of mercury means the volume which is in that container is 8 over 27 of its full capacity. Two diagrams, different diagrams. One is the container and the other if we take the mercury part, because liquid when poured into a container they take the shape of the container. So this is the mercury. Volume is capacity of the container, and this 8 over 27 is the ratio between their volumes. 8 over 27 means the upper one is for the mercury, smaller one, and the second one is for, because now definitely mercury is the smaller volume, that will have the smaller volume. The whole container will have the larger volume. So that is for the container. This is for mercury. And this whole sentence, this one, it contains a volume of mercury which is equal to this of the full capacity, means if I call this the volume of mercury V1 and the volume of the container V2, so actually we are told that V1 over V2, that is equal to 8 over 27. The question is, the first thing is the depth of the mercury. Depth of the mercury means we need to find its height. Say I call this H2. No, I cannot call this H2 because this is, I have taken volume V1, so it will be H1. And then the corresponding height which is 15, that will be H2 which is 15. H1 and H2, they are lengths. V1 over V2, that is equal to H1 over H2 cube, because ratio of volume is the cube of the ratio of sides, and V1 over V2, the value is 8 over 27, so I will take 8 over 27 is equal to H1 is to be found and H2 is 15, and this is cube. To get rid of this cube, we will take cube root of both sides. So cube root and cube will be cancelled, and we will left with H1 over 15 is equal to, on the other side, the cube root of 8 is 2. Because 8 is 2 by 2 by 2, means if we take cube of 2, means if 2 is multiplied 3 times to itself, it gives 8. The same way, 3 is the cube root of 27. Now H1 will be equal to 2 over 3 times 15. I have shifted this 15 which is in the denominator to the other side. If cancellation is done, 3 ones are 3 fives are. So the answer will be H1 is equal to 5 twos are 10 centimeter. So the answer to the first question will be 10 centimeter. The area of the mercury that is exposed to the air, that we have to find. If the area of the top of the surface, now area of the top of the surface means this area, so I will call it A2 because we are taking A2, and we need to find this area of the mercury, which is A1. So in this case we will use A1 over A2, that is equal to L1 over L2 square. So A1 over A2 is A1 to be found, A2 is given, which is 45 centimeter square, is equal to L1. Now we know L1 over L2 H1 over H2, that is the same thing, L1 over L2, so 2 by 3, that can be taken as 2 by 3 square. Then A1 over 45 is equal to 4 over 9. I have taken the square of this one, and A1 is equal to 4 over 9 times 45. So that will give us 9 ones are, 9 fives are, 4 fives are 20, 4 fives are 20 centimeters square. The capacity of the container means the volume of the container. Now, volume of the container is a cone. And volume of cone is 1 over 3 base area into height. So volume of the cone will be 1 over 3 base area we have just calculated, and the height is 15 given in the question. 3 fives are, so 100 centimeter cube. From the previous question, we have concluded that the volumes, if the volumes V1 or V2, if they are given, that is heights or the lengths, whatever the type of lengths are, H1 over H2 cube. Taking cube root of the ratio of volumes gives us the ratios of corresponding lengths, because all corresponding height, circumference, length, width is the corresponding, they have the same ratios. So here you can see if we take cube root of both sides, definitely h1 over h2 will be there. So if the v1 over v2, same is the case here. Here v1 over v2 means in the question we are given that the volume of two similar water jugs, ratio of volumes is given. V1 over V2, in this case that is 27 over 64, and in the first part the ratio of heights of the jug, the ratio of heights will be cube root of this one, H1 over H2 is equal to cube root of 27 over 64, cube root of 27 is 3, cube root of 64 is 4, so that will be 3 ratio 4. Ratio of the total surface area of the jugs. Obviously, areas means if this is L1 over L2, what is A1 over A2? A1 over A2 is equal to L1 over L2 square. So here L1 over L2 square is 3 over 4, which will be 9 over 60. So that ratio will be 9:16, because area for these are the lengths. So if you will take square of this one, that will become the areas ratio. Two artificial pounds are similar in every aspect, means they are similar figures. This is just the purpose of writing the sentence is to describe, to state that the pounds, they are similar in every aspect. The perimeter is length. Always remember perimeters, they are lengths. Perimeters of the surface of the larger pound is 3 times that of the smaller one. Means, in other words, L1 over L2 is L1 over L2 is equal to, means the smaller one, if L1 is for the smaller one, 1 over 3, because it's saying the larger is 3 times the smaller one. Means the perimeter, their lengths 3 times that of the smaller pound. So if smaller pound has the perimeter 1, definitely the larger will be 3 times 1, which is 3. So this is indirectly telling us ratio is 1 over 3, and the question is write down the ratio of their surface areas. In case of areas we take square of lengths, that will be 1:9. Simply you will take the square of the ratio of their lengths. Given that the larger pound contains 10,800 liters, mean the volume. This is volume. Find the amount of water contained in the small pound. So we need to find, say, small pound V1 is the volume of small pound and V2 is the volume of larger one. So V1 over V2, that will be equal to 1 over 3 cube, because volume is V1 over V2 is equal to L1 over L2 cube. And length, the ratio of lengths, we have already talked about this one. And the volume of larger one is V1 over, larger one is 10,800 given in the question is equal to 1 over 27, because the cube of 1 is 1 and the cube of 3 is 27. So V1 will be equal to 1 over 27 times 10,800. So that is 9 threes are, 3 threes are 9, 6 threes are 80s, and then 9 4 are 400 liters.